Dear students, in my previous lecture, I told you about various possibilities, how you can get admission in professional courses. Today, I am going to tell you what you are going to study in PUC 1 physics. See, the physics that you are going to study in pre-university course, it is called general physics. It is called general physics. And this general physics, it is totally divided into 6 different parts. In PUC first year, you are going to study about 3 parts, and the rest of the 3 you are going to study in PUC second year. So in first year PUC physics, you are going to study about general topics first. After that, mechanics, heat and wave motion. So after studying the general topics, you are going to study these 3 parts of general physics, that is mechanics, heat and wave motion. So this first year part of general physics has been divided into 10 units, which are subdivided into 15 chapters. So in all, you have 15 chapters in PUC 1 physics. The first chapter is, the first unit, it consists of 2 chapters like this. These are general topics. The first one is physical world. In this chapter, you are going to study what is physics and what is the effect of this physics in the evolutionary process of the society, and also the various applications of this physics, various inventions in physics, and various laws, conservation principles, all those things you are going to study here. A brief introduction about physics that comes under this physical world. Next, this second unit, second chapter, it is units and measurement. See, physics is a quantitative subject. It deals with measurements. Some measurements has units. So what are these units and how to make these measurements, all those things you are going to learn here. So physical world and units and measurement, it comes under the first unit. The second unit is mechanics part. In mechanics, you have kinematics and kinetics. The second unit, it is called kinematics. In this kinematics, you have 2 chapters, that is 3 and 4. The third chapter, it is motion in a straight line. See, kinematics deals with the description of motion. So when something is moving, how the motion of a body can be described, that comes under the study of this kinematics. In kinematics, first you are going to study motion in 1 dimension, which is motion in a straight line. Later, motion in a plane, that is called 2-dimensional motion. So after studying this motion in a plane or 2-dimensional motion, we generalize it for 3-dimensional motion also. So In the study of this motion in a plane, we need to have knowledge of vectors. So this study of vectors, it comes in PUC 1 physics as well as PUC 2 mathematics. You are going to study about these vectors in physics as well as mathematics both. So here first you are going to learn the basics of vectors and then apply it to study the motion in a plane. Next, the next topic is, the next unit is kinetics. Kinetics deals with cause of motion. So in this kinetics, you are going to study about laws of motion, Newton's laws of motion. The physics that you are studying at PUC level, it is basically classical physics. Most part of it is classical physics. So this classical physics is mainly based on Newton's laws. So you are going to study about Newton's laws of motion in this particular chapter. So the concept of force, it comes in this laws of motion, and you have varieties of forces, elastic force, frictional force, like that. You are also going to study about them in this laws of motion. The next topic is, that is a 4th unit and the 6th chapter, it is work, energy and power. Work, energy and power. And the 5th unit, 7th chapter. See, this unit is called rotational dynamics. This is called rotational dynamics. So this 5th unit or 7th chapter, it is nothing but system of particles and rotational motion. And the next one is 6th unit and 8th chapter, that is gravitation. So all these things comes under the study of mechanics. And here each chapter has been allotted specific number of hours to teach. Based on the number of hours of teaching, weightage of marks will be given here. Weight of marks is given here. So this first chapter, it is for 2 hours duration, and you can expect questions up to 2 marks in the annual examination. This units and measurements, it is of 4 hours, and you get questions up to 3 marks in the annual examination. Next, this one-dimensional motion, this is for 8 hours. So you can get questions up to 7 marks. 7 marks means it may be in the form of long answer type or short answer type or in form of numerical problems. So overall, from this topic you can get questions up to 7 marks. Next, motion in a plane, this is for 12 hours duration. From this topic, questions up to 10 marks will be asked in the annual examination. Similarly, this laws of motion, it is for 11 hours and 10 marks. Work, energy and power, it is also for 11 hours and 10 marks. And system of particles and rotational motion, it is for 12 hours and 10 marks. Gravitation, it is for 9 hours and 8 marks. So the number of marks allotted for various questions in annual examination, it is proportional to the time duration allotted for each chapter. So you pause the video for a few seconds and you note down this table in your notes, because while preparing for the annual examination, this is going to help you. Just for a few seconds you pause the video and you copy down these things in your notes. So this is about 6th unit. The next thing is 7th unit. Ninth chapter, mechanical properties of solids. So this is for 5 hours and 4 marks. The 10th chapter is mechanical properties of fluids. This is for 5 hours, 4 marks. The 11th chapter is thermal properties of matter. This is for 10 hours and 9 marks. The 8th unit. See, this is 7th unit, it is called the properties of matter. You know, matter basically exists in 3 states: solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. Here you are going to study about properties of solids, mechanical properties of solids. You are going to study about elasticity here. Next, liquids and gases put together, they are called fluids. So the properties of fluids like surface tension, viscosity, you are going to study here. Next, thermal properties of matter. Matter, whenever it is heated, it undergoes so many changes. Those changes, the concepts related with those changes, they are studied under thermal properties of matter. So this is for 10 hours and you can expect questions up to 9 marks. The 8th unit and 12th chapter, this is thermodynamics. It deals with conversion of heat into mechanical work. So this thermodynamics, it is for 8 hours and questions up to 7 marks will be asked in the examination. The 9th unit, 13th chapter, this is called kinetic theory of gases. Kinetic theory of gases. This is for 5 hours and for 4 marks. The last unit, that is called waves and oscillations and waves. Here you have 2 topics. One is oscillation. This is for 8 hours and 7 marks. And the last one is waves. So this is for 10 hours and 9 marks. If you sum up the total duration of your syllabus, it comes to be 120 hours. From this 120 hours syllabus, if you add up all these marks, it comes to be nearly 105 roughly. So in the annual examination, out of this 120 hours syllabus, questions will be asked for 105 marks. Out of these 105 marks, you have to answer for 70 marks only. because your theory examination paper is for 70 marks. So this is the syllabus and allotment of marks. So this is continuation of the previous one. In this physics, chemistry, biology or computer science, you have practicals. So overall 70 marks will be for theory paper and 30 marks will be for practical examination. Totally each paper, physics, chemistry, biology or computer science, it is for 100 marks. I am just talking about the theory part here. So on this total syllabus, totally questions for 105 marks are framed, out of which you have to answer for any 70 marks. Here I will also explain the question paper pattern. In physics, the annual examination question paper pattern will remain same for PU1 as well as PU2. So in your question paper, you will have part A. This is of very short answer type questions. Here in this part A, that is part 1, you have 1 to 10 questions. 1 to 10. Each question it carries 1 mark, so this part A is for 10 marks. So in part A there will be no choice. All questions are compulsory and you have to answer all questions in part A. So this being a very short answer type questions, you have to answer them in 1 word or 1 sentence, not more than that. Next, in part B, there are short answer questions. That is, in question 2, 8 questions will be given here, out of which you have to answer any 5. That means from question number 11 to question number 18, 8 questions will be there. So out of this 8, you have to answer any 5. So each question carries 2 marks. So this part B, it is for 10 marks. Next, this part C. So this is also short answer type questions. So in this third question also you have 8 questions, out of which you have to answer any 5. So question number 19 to 26. Question number 19 to 26, there are 8 questions. Out of this 8, you have to answer any 5. Each question carries 3 marks. So this is for 15 marks. Next, to part D. So this is long answer type. Each question carries 5 marks. So in this part D, you have 3 subparts. The fourth one, here 3 questions will be there, 27, 28 and 29. Out of these 3, you have to answer any 2. So each question, it carries 5 marks. So this is part D, question number 4. In question number 5, here also you have 3 questions, 29, 30, 31. Out of these 3, again you have to answer any 2. So each question carries 5 marks. So this is for 10 marks. And at last, this question number 6. Here you have 5 numerical problems, that is 32 to 33, 27, 28, 29. So this is 30, 31, 32. So this is 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So you have to, so this is numerical problems section. So if you add all these things, it comes to be 70. Including choice, it will be 105. So out of these 105 marks, you have to answer for 70 marks. So your annual examination, theory annual examination is for 70 marks. Practical examination is for 30 marks totally. This physics examination will be there for 100 marks. See, for passing, out of this 70, you should get a minimum of 21. That means, in all subjects with practicals, the minimum passing marks in theory will be 21 out of 70. So in physics, chemistry, biology or computer science, in the theory paper, out of 70, you should get 21 for 21 minimum. Including practical, it should be 35. So theory minimum 21 and the rest of the marks will be for practical. So in every subject, if you take a minimum of 35 marks, then only it is considered to be passed. See, passing these science subjects is not at all difficult. If you are attentive in the class, and whenever we say something is important, you mark them and you prepare for them thoroughly in the examination, definitely you will pass the examinations very easily. But as far as the competitive examinations are concerned, you have to work very hard to get good ranking. That means you have to give, you have to prepare simultaneously for board examination as well as competitive examinations, both. So, this is about the theory examination. Coming to the practicals, in the laboratory, you are going to perform 14 to 16 experiments. In the laboratory, based on the theory topics, certain experiments are designed. So you are going to do nearly 14 to 16 experiments in the laboratory. Out of these 14 to 16 experiments, 12 experiments will be there for examination. For examination, 12 experiments will be there. Which 12 experiments will be given for the examination, we will announce before the examination. So you have to thoroughly prepare for these experiments. Out of these 12 experiments, you have to perform one experiment in the laboratory. So for performing this one experiment, there will be 30 marks. Out of these 30 marks, 24 marks will be for performing this experiment and 6 marks will be for maintaining your laboratory manual. 24 plus 6, it is 30. So, your practical course, it is for 30 marks. See, don't take the practical lightly. It is not similar to your internal examination marks in SSLC. If I look into your SSLC marks card, invariably for all students, internal examination marks will be 19, 19, 19 or 20, 20, 20 like that. Apart from these two numbers, you won't find any other numbers. So unlike that, here in PUC practicals, unless you do experiment correctly by yourself, you won't get good marks. Don't take things granted. Don't expect 30 out of 30 for everybody. It's not so. Based on how well you have performed the experiment, you get the marks. So usually in the routine laboratory course, you are doing experiments in groups. So usually at every experiment, 3 to 4 students will be there. In physics laboratory, you are performing the experiments in groups. When 3 or 4 members are doing one experiment, each one of you should know what is that experiment, what you are going to find in that experiment, what is the theory behind it, how to take the readings, how to do the calculations, and how to express the final result along with unit. You should know all those things in the routine laboratory course. Then only you can independently perform the experiment at the time of examination. Simply if you come to the lab along with your friends and simply copy, somebody will be doing the experiment and the rest of the students will be just copying and going off the laboratory, it won't work out. Each one of you can do the experiment independently. There will be sufficient time. Thereby you can learn how to take the readings and all. So like that, when you practice by yourself, then it becomes easy to do this experiment at the time of examination independently, and thereby you can score good marks. So this is about the practical course. There will be no minimum marks as such for passing in practical examination. Understand? For passing practical examination, there is nothing like minimum number of marks. Even if you remain absent for the practical and if you score 35 marks in the theory, then you will be considered as passed. So, when you want to score 100% marks in any subjects, when you want to score centum in any subjects, then these practical marks also play a crucial role. So from that point of view, you are not supposed to neglect these practicals. Next, you also note down this question paper pattern. You pause the video for a few seconds and note down these things. Next, as far as this theory is concerned, as you have already seen various topics, you studied almost all these topics in 8th, 9th standard. All these topics you already studied in 8th and 9th. The same thing will be repeated in PUC 1, but more elaborately, in depth. Understand? So you are going to study these topics which you already studied at school level in detail with more depth. See here, problem solving is an integral part of physics. In every physics examination, wherever it may be, physics examination means it is nothing but problem solving. See, mathematics is the basic foundation of physics. All physical concepts, they are expressed in form of mathematical equations. So without thorough knowledge of mathematics, you cannot understand physics. Basics of mathematics is very much essential to understand this physics. You need to know basic algebra, trigonometry, geometry, graph theory, and a part of calculus, integral calculus as well as differential calculus. So without the knowledge of this basic mathematics, understanding physics is very difficult. Actually, all science topics involves mathematics. Mathematics is the foundation of science. Particularly, physics is nothing but an application of mathematics. Physics is an application part of mathematics. Whatever you study in mathematics, that is applied in physics. So, while learning physics, you should develop numerical ability. That means ability to solve numerical problems. So, you need to develop analytical skills. So, you have to read the problem, you have to analyze it. What is the concept involved behind that problem? So you understand the concept behind that problem, then only you would be able to solve it. So to check your analytical skills, this last section is there, solving numerical problems. Here 5 numerical problems are given, out of which you have to solve 3. Each problem carries 5 marks. So this is a very important part. And this is where students feel physics difficult. And also this is where students lose marks. But in any competitive examination, physics part, more than 80% or even 90% of questions will be in the form of numerical problems only. You take JEE, NEET, KSET examination, or any competitive examination like NDA examination or any competitive examination. In physics, the questions will be in the form of numerical problems only. So behind each numerical problem there is a concept. So once you understand the concept, if you solve more numerical problems, then it becomes so easy to solve these type of problems here. So the reason why some students feel physics difficult is lack of language skills. Here the medium of instruction is English. We are supposed to teach you in English. You have to write the examination in English. And almost all competitive examinations, you have to appear in English only. So that is why those who have come from language medium, that means Kannada medium, to English medium at PUC, first they feel difficulty in understanding the language. ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟು ಭಾಳ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು 2-3 ಮಂತ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನೀವು ಹೆದರೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು 2-3 ಮಂತ್ಸು ಈ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ನಿಮಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇನು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ವರ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದ ನಂತರ ಡಿಕ್ಷನರಿ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡಿರಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಓದುವಾಗ ಯಾವುದೇ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅದರ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ತಿಳಿದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಡಿಕ್ಷನರಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 2 ತಿಂಗಳ ಈ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ಡಿಕ್ಷನರಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಓದ್ಕೊತ ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ನವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 2-3 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ತ್ರಾಸ ಅನಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟು 2-3 ಮಂತ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ರು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ತೊಂದರೆನೂ ಅನಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಕೆಲವೊಮ್ಮೆ ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಭಾಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸಿದಾಗ ಈವನ್ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಹೆದರೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಪೂರ್ತಿ A to Z ಕನ್ನಡದಾಗ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ದೇರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ನೋ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 90% ಜನರಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರ ಮದರ್ ಟಂಗ್ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟಿಂದ ಅವರು ಬಂದಿರೋಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಂಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ 90% ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೇನಾದರೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸಿದಾಗ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾವು ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, most of the time we use English only. So you should also develop these language skills. ನೀವು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನು ಓದಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನದ ಅಂತಂದು, ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಯಾವ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರ, ಏನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನೀವು ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ನೇನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿದರೆ ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಓವರ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್, ನಿಮಗೆ 2 years ಸಫಿಷಿಯೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓವರ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಬೈ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಸಿನ್ಸಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್. ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ರಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಟೀಚರ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೆದರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಕೊತಾರೋ ಈ ಥರ ಇನ್ಹಿಬಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟುಬಿಡ್ರು. ಅವನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವಾಗಿನ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆವಾಗ ನೀವು ರಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಹೋದರೆ ಯಾವತ್ತಿಂದ ಅವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಓದಿದ್ರೂ ಅದು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್. ಫೀಲ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಟು ಇಂಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್. ವೆನೆವರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, you go to the respective teacher and get it cleared. So this is all about PUC 1 physics syllabus, examination pattern and all. In the next class, I am going to take some mathematical relations which you come across in physics, which is also called as mathematical physics. Understand? So whatever you learnt at school level, whatever mathematics you learnt at school level, just I will refresh it in 1 or 2 classes, and then we shall move on to the other topics. See, you follow these video classes every day. You follow these classes every day, and if you have any problem, you can pose your problem to my number. This is my mobile number. If you have any problem regarding physics, you can post it to my WhatsApp, or you can call to me so that I can help you in resolving your problems. So you follow these video lectures every day, and also if ever any work is given, you try to finish off that work on that day itself. Don't procrastinate or postpone the things. Understand? So after watching these videos, you subscribe them so that you will get notification regularly whenever a new video is uploaded. So we shall continue from here in the next lecture.